Welcome to the special draft edition of Collider's Corner. I'm very pleased to be joined by a special guest today. She is the youngest member of the Colliders organization, and we're talking about one of our scouts, football genius, Callie Hammond. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Quite welcome, quite welcome. Well, Callie, as a scout, of course, your job was to find players that you liked and recommend them for drafting. So could you just talk about some of the players that really stood out to you in this draft?
I liked Copper Penny.
Copper Penny, wide receiver, Louisiana Tech. Okay. Who else?
What's his name? What's his name?
Steve Green Jackson.
That was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Fluffy is his name.
Jim Fluffy, quarterback, Ole Miss, yeah.
And the last one was Steve Jackman.
Steve Jackman, defensive tackle. Well, unfortunately, we drafted none of those players. And in fact, we didn't draft anybody in the first round because we were about to draft Roquan Smith, linebacker. We had put his name on the card, and we're going to turn it into the commissioner when we got a phone call from Ben Pershey. Now, you and Ben Pershey go way back. Tell me what you think of the dude.
Kind of good.
Kind of good? But when it comes to fantasy football, would you say he's terrible or horrible?
Terrible. Wait, which one is worse?
That's a tough one. Not sure about that.
I think terrible or horrible is worse.
Okay, so you would say he's horrible at fantasy?
No, terrible.
Okay, anyway, terrible as he is, he offered 2 first-round draft choices in next year and 2020's draft for the rights to the 10th pick. And then he had the same idea we had. He drafted Roquan Smith, so we did not get the linebacker in the first round. And we didn't pick until round 2. With the 3rd pick, though, we got someone with a first-round grade, and that's wide receiver Christian Kirk. So take a look at Kirk and tell me what you think. What's your scouting report?
He has sprinkles on his face.
Sprinkles on his face? Okay.
Like you do.
So a little stubble. Okay.
Like you do.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else?
His hair is very curly.
Yeah, that will probably help. Do you think he'll be a good addition to our team?
Yeah, because since his hair is kind of long and curly, if someone was throwing it to someone that wasn't on his team, and it was over his head, he could jump up and catch it with his hair.
Right, that would be true if they didn't have to wear helmets. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if you exaggerated some things on your resume. Anyway, moving on to the next pick in the second round. We had 3 picks in the second round, so that was why that first round pick was definitely movable. Well, we didn't get Roquan Smith, the linebacker, in the first round. And we didn't get Tremaine Edmonds, who was another highly touted linebacker. But we did get Rashaan Evans at 2.07 out of Tennessee. Give me your thoughts.
He looks like he's very friendly.
Yeah, he did really well in the interview portion.
Even though his team color is blue, I bet he still likes blue.
Yeah? Okay.
And, I think he's like, if he loses, he's like, no big, it's not a big deal for him.
Okay.
But if he wins, he doesn't brag about it.
Okay, so good sportsmanship, always important in a fantasy prospect. And then 2 picks later, some people might have called this a reach. We took defensive end Marcus Davenport, who, was drafted 14th overall by the Saints, but was considered a project player good size, good athleticism, but still needs to learn the tricks of the trade for playing defensive end. So what do you think about good old number 92?
I like the number.
Yeah, 92 is definitely a defensive end number.
He has and white. It goes good like with any color. So I like that he like.
You mean his jersey?
Yeah, and he did, and I think that if he like started the team, and if he probably would have chose going to the helmet.
Okay.
I also like he has like bandages on like every finger.
All right, it sounds like we're having some interruptions here in the studio. Let's go see what that's about. Okay, we have a couple other members of the organization. These are family members of the owner, and we have done our best to kind of keep them out of sight, out of public. They don't represent the best of the Clyers organization.
Hey! Whoa! I'm trying to interview here.
All right, moving on. Okay, into the third round. Someone I didn't expect to be there was another inside linebacker, although he is starting at strong side linebacker, unfortunately, at the moment. But that is Leighton Vander Esch of the Cowboys. So give me your thoughts on Leighton Vander Esch.
I like the team name because there's a show. Since my name is Callie, there's a show called like Callie a Cowgirl or something.
I think it's Sheriff Callie.
So I used to watch that.
Yeah, and so you feel an affinity to Cowboys. Got it.
And I also like the number 55 because when I was in school, and my lucky number, my school number was 5, and my lucky number is 5.
Okay.
So I like 55.
So school number, for those of you that don't know, is basically they put the kids in alphabetical order and assign them a number based on where they are in the alphabet in the class that year. All right, so another pick in the third round, and this is where we finally got the running back. And as you recall, we were looking for a running back in the first round. None came, which is why we're ready to pull the trigger on Roquan Smith. But now we've got running back Chase Edmonds, who is the backup to David Johnson, who's just suffered some catastrophic injuries, and we can only hope for more of the same. So what do you think about Chase?
Inside his helmet, I see that his like face is like. So I feel like he like maybe he just like lost a game, like his team just lost, or like he like wasn't getting the ball at all, or maybe he like his like friend just got tackled when he could have just like ran and the like thing was right there.
Okay. Do you think he'll be able to contribute right away this year?
Maybe.
Okay. All right, so now we start getting into the no man's land of the draft. In the fourth and fifth round, very few of these players ever make the team, although a few years ago we did pick up Alec Ogletree in the fifth round, and that was a nice little bargain. So 4.09, wide receiver Deion Kane of the Indianapolis Colts, who's pushing for some serious playing time in this training camp. What do you think?
Well, he looks, and I think that he like really likes football, and so
important that he has the passion for the game.
And I think that he like really cares about this sport. Like maybe he loved it for like a long time.
Yeah, probably since he was a little kid.
And I feel like his number is 0.
That's actually 8. He's just holding the football in front of him, so it's a little tough to see. But
well, I'm 8 years old, so I like that.
That's pretty much why we drafted him.
And he's kind of holding like the football like this, so it means like he's really excited about it.
Yeah, making a good catch with his hands and not with his body.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and that brings us to the final pick for the Colliders in the draft, 5th rounder, running back Justin Jackson. This is another backup running back, the backup to Melvin Gordon. So again, we're playing a long game here, and we're hoping for a catastrophic injury to Melvin Gordon for 2 reasons. 1, because it would give Jackson some playing time, and 2, because it would harm Jason Enright. And that's what we're all about, right? And Jason Enright, by the way, doesn't think that action rhymes with Jackson. So if we call him Justin Action Jackson, I think that's a good enough rhyme. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me what you think about JJ, Justin Jackson.
I think that he's it looks like he's and like something just happened to one of his players, or he that might be like a excited way or like a surprised way of like maybe another team member of the other team got like.
Yeah, or it could be he's running the football and he can't control his facial expressions while he's doing that.
And maybe he's probably like excited that he's almost to like get there to get a point. Yeah, we're hoping for 6 points there on that play, right? Mm-hmm. And I like the lightning bolt on his helmet.
Okay. Yeah, he plays for the Chargers. We've established that, yeah.
And the number 32 reminds me of my little sister Hattie, because I like to think that she's still young, like she's 2, but now she's 3.
Yeah.
So like 32.
Yeah, it's sort of a combination of her most recent ages. That's a really important point. So do you think that we have what it takes to bring back the title this year and bring that trophy back to our house?
Yes.
All right, and who do you think stands as our biggest rival? Who's going to get in the way? Who's going to be tough to beat this year? Christian Kirk is on our team, so he is going to be tough to beat because he's going to win the 2nd receiving position in Arizona. And we're going to dominate the people in our division, which, by the way, includes Ben Pershey. We're going to play Ben 3 times. Thank you. Always wanted a super big ice cream cone.
Ice cream. Yay! Ice cream is
All right. So with that being said, this has been our draft analysis. Very hard-hitting and insightful. And we will see you next time on Collider's Corner. Hit me with that football. Nice! Celebrate.